Okay, well, honestly, I don't know. I'm sitting here doing the podcast. If you're listening, then you can just hear this voice. But if you're watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, you're getting a little more visual aids of sorts and put a face to the voice and whatnot. And yeah, if for some reason this is the first podcast you're listening to because you were swayed by a recommendation or you clicked on the wrong thing, I appreciate you being here. Consider subscribing, give this video a like, drop a comment down below, and hopefully you'll stick around. And yeah, so before we really jump into today's episode, and this is kind of the first official YouTube podcast because, you know, even the last one I sort of wrapped up that Patreon business and, you know, hey, we make mistakes and we learn from them, and some things catch on, some things don't, or some things you're willing to put more time into. And so, yeah, that's it. And if you can hear, hopefully I can cut that out. My wife's having a meeting downstairs, so that it's kind of good ambiance. You know, we're not going for anything too spectacular here. If you're watching it, we have the aperture lantern kind of right in front of my face here with the Godox VL150. It's at 10%. So, and I got some window light and that's it. Nothing. That's it. Okay. So yeah. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about today. First, I want to do whether they wanted it or not, which actually they probably appreciate it. I think I'm going to do some, I'll call them the reads, but they didn't actually send them, but they've been a huge help in this YouTube channel and yeah, just helping me do what I love to do, and that is, you know, be behind the camera, in front of the camera, and helping other people and learning things as I go along. So proudly sponsored this podcast, this channel is the Phantom LUTs, created by Joel Familaro. There's a link in the description below. You get 15% off if you go purchase these amazing LUTs. I mean, they go beyond LUTs. There should be a word that we create that goes above the LUT, because a LUT, you know, a lot of people can make them, but Joel has formulated something on another level. He has been able to emulate some old film stocks that look incredible on your footage, and the Alexa color that everybody tries to go for because they can't, you know, most of us can afford to buy, you know, a 6-figure camera. So he's been able to do that. It's available for Sony cameras, Canon, Blackmagic, I believe one of the drones now, and he's continuing to push that. So huge sponsor of this channel, and we really love Joel. He's incredible. The next is Dehancer, which if you've been around even more recently, I've talked more about it. It's the most powerful film emulation plugin available for Final Cut or DaVinci Resolve, and I believe Lightroom. Final Cut is just in the beta now, but you can put a link down below that you can navigate to that. And there's also a link down below. I think there's a discount code below. And lastly, the newest addition, and we're going to talk about this today, is Motion VFX. Some of you maybe have heard of this. There's Motion Array, there's Art.io. I don't know, there's a bunch of different ones, but Motion VFX is the leading creator for plugins for Final Cut and DaVinci, and they have all kinds of titles, transitions. Everything you're seeing on today's episode, on this video, was used with specific packs from Motion VFX. So honestly, I don't know, but it's pretty incredible. So thank you to all of them. Yeah, the music, Artlist. So, you know, you already know about Artlist. Yeah, so the coloring and everything that we're seeing on this video is Dehancer, Phantom LUTs. You know, everything is being powered through these connections, these collaborations, and yeah, and then there's the affiliate links down below to Amazon for any of the gear that I'm using, and if you end up purchasing something or even using a link within a certain amount of time, I get a percentage of that, which helps, obviously, you know, keep the lights on, kind of. So yeah, anyway, let's jump right into it. And so I wanted to kind of lead with that fun, you know, these reads, these ads that, you know, I just did anyway. they didn't ask me to, but I wanted to talk a little bit about those partnerships, affiliate links, and just my experience on how to do it or how it works. The first thing is to just build up your channel and just be consistent, upload videos, and you can go on Amazon and you can apply at B&H, and you can go to these places and get affiliate links so that people, will click, and you get a small percentage of something if they purchase it. And that's like the easiest way to get going. As you start to build a little bit more, Artlist or Music Bed or, the Phantom Lutz, Dehancer, these types of companies will reach out to you to see if you're interested in using their product. And, they'll give it to you for free in exchange for, producing some sort of content that helps, drive the sales of their, what they made. So I've gone through this before, probably in different videos, that I have had the opportunity to work with, different companies and their products that, ended up not really being my thing. And that's okay. Just be honest, up front. If you get an email from something, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to do it. So I kind of try to keep it small. This motion VFX one, I just typically don't use stuff like that, but the quality is there, and it's really, really, easy to use. And so I figure, why not? It's another thing to kind of showcase to you. And, so, and then as far as, making money, from selling this stuff, it does pretty well. I think if I put even more effort into it, you could probably really create some serious income. I think I've done pretty well over the handful of years that I've been sponsored by some of these different companies and plugins and LUTs and all that. But it's just the consistency, and you just have to kind of build a small community audience, kind of like what we've done on this channel together. Is slowly but surely, you upload a video and a few more people come, and you just kind of keep trucking along. And don't be completely pushed by, trying to make money on YouTube. I think that, every YouTuber probably says that's been around. That's just not realistic. So I always say I use YouTube as an outlet to give back to whatever and just express things how I want to. It's like your own, well, it is a channel, but it's your own channel, and you can, talk about whatever you want, upload whatever you want, as long as it's, obviously not crossing certain lines. But so that's a long-winded talk about YouTube and sponsorships and whatnot, but I thought some of you might be really interested in that. So if you have any more questions on that, drop them down below. And so anyway, what's today? Today's August. We're recording this on August 11th, so hopefully it'll be out the 12th, the very next day. My birthday's on Sunday. I turned 35 years old, which is kind of crazy. 35. I don't know if I feel 35, but I'm getting there. So 35 years old, and keep trucking along. We're going to, when this comes out, if you're listening to this as soon as it came out, right now would be Friday. And we're actually going to go in DC. There's a thing called the Office Experience. It just got put in, and it's only there for maybe a couple of months, I'm not sure, but excuse me. But it's the original sets from The Office and the props and everything, and it's all set up like it would be when they were shooting it. Handful of years ago, I think they did the same thing with Friends. So we're going to go to that. That should be exciting. We love The Office, as many of you probably do. So that'll be fun. And then do some stuff this weekend and get some dinner and, just relax and whatnot. Nothing too exciting. Getting old, you can't go too hard. And plus, when you're like an introverted extrovert, it's like you can only do so much, and then you want to kind of just be at home anyway. So speaking of that, being home, we have been watching, I'll be 35. So, when I was, let's see, Boy Meets World, that's what we're going to get into. So Boy Meets World, the show that was on TGIF in the 90s, I watched it as a kid. Ariel watched it as well. And so recently some of the cast members from Boy Meets World started a podcast going through episode by episode. They're having different guests on. And so we started rewatching that show, which of course you think is kind of ridiculous because it was this like family kids sitcom in the 90s, but it holds up definitely to today, you know, besides the fact that they shot it on video and it, you know, it looks the way it looks. The jokes, the timing of everything, the dialogue, the characters, it all just works in that universe. And so it's been a lot of fun to kind of go back through and watch those with adult eyes instead of, you know, being a kid watching it. You just pick up on a bunch of different things that you probably didn't before. So that's been interesting. And then when did this come out? A couple of weeks ago? Because it was probably right after I did the last podcast, but we went to see Jordan Peele's Nope, which had, you know, a lot of push and a lot of hype for almost a year. And I'll first tell you that I gave it a 5 out of 10 when I left that theater. And the 5, you know, that it got was because the cinematography was outstanding. The acting was outstanding. Everything visually and the sound, everything to do with the production was just on point. It felt like a Jordan Peele movie. The only thing is, for me, it was similar to Us in the fact that it had this really big underlying theme that could really go a bunch of different ways. And I think, you know, if you go into that with a little bit of the knowledge, it might help a little bit. But I don't know, you kind of left the movie not really understanding the full scope of like why what happened and these, you know, why do I care about certain characters? But then reading about it after the fact, you know, made it a little bit better, I guess. But, you know, you have to see it for yourself. It wasn't a bad movie at all. It wasn't bad. It didn't live up to me that what it was supposed to be, I guess. So, but hats off. I mean, Jordan Peele, just Get Out is still my favorite of his. And then of course, Key and Peele, you know, you can't go wrong with some Key and Peele skits. So, you know, you probably get a lot of hate if you say you didn't like Nope. So we'll see what happens here. Let me know down below. Did you see it? What did you think? Was it amazing? I've seen people talking that it was the best movie of the year. I mean, I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head another movie that I've seen this year, so I can't really be a judge. But best movie of the year, I don't know. So yeah, writing, man, wow. So I talked about how I kind of suddenly started writing this pilot for this show with this guy named Frank Mixon, and I now, as we're sitting right here, have written 5 episodes and into the 6th episode of this world, whatever the hell this thing is that I'm doing. It's been exciting for sure. I get lost in it. You know, I think one of the episodes I wrote sitting outside for like 5 hours and I'm just going to town. And it's been really a creative outlet for me, definitely, and a completely different thing because the way I'm writing it and the way I'm approaching it, I didn't think I would really have that in me to create a whole world with multiple characters and think through multiple storylines and arcs, and there's a lot, and I don't have any specific training. You know, I didn't go to school for that or anything. I've just been kind of doing certain types of writing and screenplays and my own versions of that since I was a kid. So, yeah, it's been a learning experience, but I'm always up for that, especially if I'm really excited about it. And so, as I've been writing, you know, I kind of stopped episode 4 and I've kind of gone back, and then I hone in on the plot lines and correct some dialogue and revisit it. And, you know, I read it to Ariel and she helps, and she's got a gift as well, even if she doesn't think she does. She sees it a different way than I do. So it creates a lot more opportunity for different ideas and different storylines and which direction they're going to go. But yeah, so I've been writing that. It's changed quite a bit from the initial idea that it was this middle-aged guy who's a failed motivational speaker. It's literally completely changed. So what I would like to do, actually, before I get into that, I want to talk about the next steps with that. So me, Nick Brengle, who's, really nothing. I have, it's like, yeah, I'm on YouTube and I've been, working in the underground, I would say, industry since, 15 years ago or whatever, doing projects with some bigger companies, doing my own thing for the most part, and sort of navigating through exactly where I want to land. And most of I want to create my own stuff. I want to make, more films, whether it's documentary or short films, and definitely narrative type things. And, but with this writing thing, if you write a short film and, it feels like you can accomplish that, because I've done those things before. I've made a documentary closer to a feature length. I've shot, short films and longer version, almost feature length type short films. And that feels attainable because it's smaller scale. You can kind of rope in people and, and make it happen pretty much with little to no effort and not a big budget at all. But when you start writing something this large, it obviously, unless, you have somebody, that is, got a lot of money to spare or some kind of connection to something, you're sort of left thinking, this is never going to happen. I'm writing this, but, my friends might read it and that's it. So what's the next step? So I've spent the last few weeks slowly just reading different things, watching different things, studying different things on how somebody who's not in it at all, doesn't have, a Writers Guild card, nothing, how did they break in? Now, there are a few ways that you can go through, like screenwriting competitions and things like that. There's residencies. And I might explore some of that. The other thing is IMDb Pro is just a massive, library of agents and managers, and you can find contact info, and there's ways that you can send emails properly, asking, hey, here's my log line and brief little summary. Would you be interested in reading this pilot? And you just kind of have to cold email as nicely as you can. And that's it. I mean, those are kind of the two opportunities. Obviously, you can raise money other ways and try to produce it yourself. But what I'm writing here is just so large that that's not realistic. So I reached out to so many different agents and assistants, from people that are, work with Danny McBride, Bill Burr, Jim Carrey, Dan Levy, a bunch of other agents and managers. So that was interesting. It's a little nerve wracking to send emails like that, but whatever, you got to start somewhere and push it out somehow. So, hey, if you're watching this and a producer or somebody who'd be interested in hearing more, hey, let me know down below, because with that, and then with Singularity, which I've talked about, is kind of this sci-fi drama short film. I'm still working on the rewrite of some of that, and in addition to the screenplay, and that is still very much on the table for hopefully what's coming down the pipeline. So yeah, can really get lost. I would love to talk more about the writing. So if you are interested in that, I definitely wouldn't mind doing some form of that live stream, Q&A or anything. And that kind of leads me to talking about YouTube and, is this membership thing, is it worth it? Or is it something that, doesn't really benefit either party that much? I thought, about doing, like real time live, like feedback on your videos. I think that would be fun to do. And maybe we'd try one of those without the membership thing. So let me know if that's an interesting idea, offering, just like a live Q&A, and, there's no rules, just, a live Q&A session, or I've done the live editing and color grading and working through some of the different plugins, in a longer form with a live stream, so some of you can see the more intricate details. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. I'm just trying to, and maybe the membership thing doesn't even matter, because if you keep subscribing, that's really the most important thing. And if I kind of schedule out doing some of these things, then maybe you be more interested to connect in those ways. Because obviously I know when I upload a video, I just uploaded Dehancer for Final Cut, and it shoots up. Oh, speaking of that, if you're still listening, what are we, 20 minutes in? So if you're still here, you are dedicated to the Honestly, I Don't Know podcast with me. So thank you for that. I work on some contracts that are for, vaccinate for all or different PSAs and things, government type stuff. And I uploaded the Dehancer video for Final Cut, and I did use in the video, I used like a 5-second clip of something from one of those projects, and kind of oversight on my own part. I should not have done that. So if you watch that video and it goes blurry right there for like 5 seconds, that's because, YouTube doesn't allow you to re-upload, and I wasn't going to do that. So I just blurred it out using the YouTube editor. I wish you could put a title or something over it, but whatever. I mean, some people probably think something's wrong with their screen for 5 seconds, but so yeah, I had to do that because wasn't thinking, was not supposed to do that. So it was just, like a doctor walking or whatever, but it, there was things labeled on there that, made it pretty clear what was going on. And so anyway, so that happens. We're always learning about something. I was just so excited about getting Dehancer out into the world for Final Cut because it's so incredible. So what else do we got here? Motion VFX. Yeah, so hopefully I haven't even really messed with it that much. So if we're watching this now, you're seeing I used maybe some plug-in title graphics or whatever. Hopefully they look good. I think they do because I watched some different stuff. I saw that Marquise Brownlee has his own set of titles that you can use and plug in different transitions and whatnot. So we might play around with some different ones for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else we should talk about. I kind of talked about everything that is going on. Over the weekend, we lost our air conditioning for like a day. It was like 80-something degrees in here, but it was all right. Then it was fine. It was fixed. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. The world is a perfect place. There's nothing going on. Everything is fine and dandy. Okay, let's wrap it up. If you're still listening, God bless you. God bless you. You're still here. Honestly, I don't know why anybody would watch this. I don't know why they would listen because it's cringe. No, it's not. But hopefully it's not. Okay, we're going to wrap it up because, honestly, I don't know anything else to say. But yeah, I appreciate if you've kind of stuck around to this point. I honestly, it's really incredible, those of you that listen and watch the podcast and, hopefully connect on another level, that we elevate it from small talk to medium talk. You know what I mean? Because I'm sitting here, I'll be vulnerable with you. I'll answer questions. So, that's it. I just want from small talk to medium talk. So if you could drop something down below, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and go create something. Honestly, just go outside wherever you are and just hit record and just walk around, film people, get in their face. Oh boy, okay, we're going to have to delete this whole thing. We're going to have to start completely over. Okay, see you guys later.